Hey everyone, Sam here. This is going to be episode 2 of our O2 King mini-series that is currently going on, and we're basically just going to pick up exactly where we left off to try and make it like a continuous, easy-flowing kind of mini-series, so there's no like confusion of me starting off in some random place. We're just going to start exactly where we left off and then just continue the process until we eventually get to the end and have a Shiftry that we can use. So, saying that, where we left off last time was we caught our C-Dot, we bred our C-Dot, and we made sure it was adamant with 2 times 31 in attack and speed, as that is what we're going to be trying to produce, basically a physically offensive Wind Rider Shiftry. You'll also see on screen now that I have come to some kind of decision on the moves that we're going to be using. This may change, but I'm kind of set on these because... So the way I went around this was, I went, okay, what do I want on my C-Dot? So I went to the moves, and I had a little look. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. Because normally, it would evolve at 14, then you Leaf Stone, so you'd never really get past 14 unless you knew about these. So you get Synthesis, Sucker Punch, Explosion. And these are important to check, because if you go to Shiftry, he gets Explosion at the start, but you have to heart scale it. You won't like learn all of these as he evolves. You have to like heart scale it onto it. But you do also take into account like Leaf Blade, which we are going to use, of course. And then you can use any of these moves, but of course you have to heart scale the ones that say start. You can also look at Nuzleaf, but I assume he'll have similar. Yep, start. So instead of having to pay heart scales, we can just level C-Dot up to level, was it 33? 33 to get Explosion. And I love any mon that can use Explosion, because it's just good fun, isn't it? I love using it. So we are going to be using Explosion. We also have Sucker Punch. We have Leaf Blade from Shiftry's line here, which he will get when he evolves. And then I was looking at the meta, because we're going to be playing NU here, because Shiftry, well, he's not in any tier, I don't think. And I was like, okay, so what do we have? We have Sucker Punch, which is priority dark coverage. We have Leaf Blade, which is grass coverage. What here doesn't get touched by grass or dark? Bronzor gets done in by dark. Grass weak. Not really either to a sense, which is pretty bad because Gliscord's kind of the king of NU, which is going to be a struggle. Rotom takes damage from dark because... Is Rotom part ghost? I don't actually know that. Is he fully electric or is he part ghost? Oh, he is part ghost, yeah, so he's weak to dark, I think. Got Electros, which will take damage. So we got, up here, we've got a lot of fighting types. And I was thinking, what can we have to try and boost our coverage? So if we go to the moves of Shiftry, what beats fighting types? I was like looking through and I was seeing Hurricane special, Air Cutter special, Air Slash special, but Aerial Ace is only base 60, but it can't miss, and it's flying. It's flying and physical, which is very, very important. Because you can see here, we've got Medicham, Hitmontop, we have... There was another one. Oh, we got Sceptile, who's also weak to flying, which is really good in our case. Because... Well, that's the whole point. We need coverage, because Sceptile, I think he takes neutral from dark, but he doesn't from grass, 100%. Medicham, I think, is neutral to dark, is part psychic, and Hitmontop will take neutral damage, but we might as well go for the aerial ace if we can have that coverage. My other choice was kind of fighting, because I think he gets Brick Break, Low Kick, yeah, that kind of thing. So we could have it, but Sharpedo's weak to grass anyway. It doesn't help with Gligar. It doesn't affect Rotom. Electros doesn't really affect much. Oh, it's neutral, but it doesn't really matter because we got Sucker Punch. Piloswine is weak to fighting. So we kind of have a choice. Do we want to be effective against Hitmontop, Medicham, and Sceptile, or Piloswine? And Houndoom. So you can kind of pick and choose your coverage at this point. You could go for like flying or fighting. I'm going to go flying first, just because they seem to be more popular. Because when you're against a Shiftry, you do not expect it to stay in against a fighting mon. I'm just scared of Muck Punch, and if Shiftry lives a Muck Punch. I'm going to hope I do, but I'm not so sure against Iron Fist. Hitmonchan. Iron Fist Hitmonchan I might be scared of, but the overall usage isn't that high, so we might get away with it in a sense. That's actually quite interesting to see that Hitmonchan is piled with Piloswine quite a bit. So it's going to mean whatever coverage we choose, we're going to be open to one of them in a sense. But we still do have Sucker Punch, and I haven't done any calculations to determine whether Wind Rider's +1 attack is going to, like, destroy Piloswine with a Sucker Punch or something. I have absolutely zero clue about stuff like that. I have not done any of those calculations. But now that we have the moves decided, we have to do the next stage of, well, making our Shiftry. So in that case, what we are going to do is start EV training, and for that what we need is an EXP share, which we will attach to C. right here, and then we're going to need speed and attack EVs. For attack, no, let's do speed first, just because I prefer doing speed first. We are going to go to Unova. I believe well, I know there's a forum post that gives you the locations of all of the horde locations that are most ideal for EV training. And I just know these ones. I know an attack one, which is Machoke and Sinnoh, which I'm going to do. I don't know if that's the most efficient way of doing it anymore, but that's just the way I'm going to do it. The reason I'm going here is because I have bought some lepers, so I don't have to keep running back and forth. Which isn't, like, the proper way of doing it, let's say. Well, it is the proper way, it just costs money. And you could very easily just run back and forth to the Poke Center to reset your PP. But I am lazy and not going to do that. So, the reason we come here is because if you go to Route 12 and pop a horde, I have the XP share. Yeah, I do. Perfect. Then you'll see a horde of Rapidash. And these bad boys, if you go to the Pokedex, give you 2 speed EVs per one. So if we kill 5 of them, you'll see our lovely C. will magically have 10. And that way we can just keep on doing these hordes over and over and over until we get 252 speed EV, which is the maximum amount of EVs you can have in one stat. And then you just move on to the next stat, really. So your capacity is 252 EVs in 2 stats. So 252 attack and 252 speed is what we're going for. And then you have 4 left over. So you need 4 EVs per stat point, I believe. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comments. But those 4 left over, we're just going to put in HP. Because then we get an extra HP stat. And if we live anything on 1 HP, then you know that's because we invested into it. We are not evolving, so we need it to be level 33 if you remember, because if we just double check, you see we need Explosion and Sucker Punch, so we need to get to at least 33 to get both of them. As I'm just repeating this process, I'll probably show you guys us getting the moves we need, but I won't show you the entire process of just fighting these hordes over and over, because it's very repetitive. It's just the same thing over and over. It'll probably take me like 10-20 minutes, and it's going to be a lot of me just cancelling evolutions and everything. So, what I'm going to do is just skip till we get the moves, and then skip till we finish EVs, and I'll see you guys in a second. Hello! So, we got to level 30, and that marks the first move that we do want to keep, which is going to be Sucker Punch. So, what we're going to do is just replace Tackle, get rid of that, keep Sucker Punch, and then continue until we get Explosion. Cancel that right away. How many hordes is this going to take? I might keep all of this bit in because it should only be a couple of levels, which should hopefully be only 1 or 2 hordes. So there's one. Up to, well, this is going to be 90 EVs now, which is nice. Slowly getting there to the 252 cap per stat. That's 31. I guess not, so it might take a few more. I'll probably skip until we get Explosion then. See you guys in a sec. Alright, perfect. So that's going to give us Explosion, and that's the second move that we wanted, which is the last level up move, I believe, that C. gets. 33, yep, last move Explosion, so we do want that. Goodbye, Harden. And now we have Sucker Punch and Explosion on our moveset. Meaning that we can happily let this evolve, I think. Yeah, Aerial Ace and Leaf Blade. So yeah, we need them to be Shiftry for those. Does his growth change with his EXP? I guess it's a bit late now, but... So we now have our Nuzleaf. So we've bred our Seedot. We've started off by catching one. We then bred it with breeders. We also natured it, IV'd it, all that. Taught it 2 moves as a Seedot to now evolve it. We don't care about Razor Leafs, so we don't need that. And now all we got to do is just finish the EVs, evolve it to Shiftry, and finish the moveset. And then finally give it the item, and we're pretty much done. So I will see you guys when we have finished the speed EV stat and basically get prepared to start doing the attack EVs. See you in a bit. Alright guys, so this is going to be the last horde we need, as we are currently on 250, meaning we just need 2 EVs. So this horde of 10 is going to give us that, and you'll see that we are capped, because this would normally give us 10 EVs per horde, but you'll see here we only get 2, and it goes green, showing that we have hit the limit. So now that speed's done, we're pretty much going to move over to our area to do the attack EVs, which probably has changed, because I've realised all the hordes I remember in terms of EVs are pre-Johto, so these are probably very outdated. But you can do it here, you can do it Johto. Basically, just look on the forums, because there'll be posts on about what hordes drop what kind of thing. So what we're going to do is just reset our PP. You can see in our top left, I'll show on Smeargle as well. So it's currently, it was 22, it's now 32 because we used the Poke Center. And we are in Celestic Town, because if you head over to the left, you'll end up at Route 211. Sweet Scent here, and you'll end up with Machoke hordes. And if we look at our decks, you'll see that we get +2 attack. So this will give us 10 attack EVs per horde. So what we're going to do is do the exact same thing we done with the Rapidash hordes, and I'll see you when we get to the end of it. See you in a sec. Alright, so this should be the last horde for our attack EVs, as we're on 250, just like we were with the Rapidash for the speed. This is a horde of 10, meaning it will give us the 2 and then just cap out of that. So that will be that done. And then all we need is the 4 HP EV, which I know as getting them from the same area of which we bred Nuzleaf, in the water. I think. No, I'm thinking of another place. I think you can do it there, because I'm basically looking for Marrow hordes. But I feel like I normally go up here for Marrow hordes, because I think I remember Prince getting a shiny Marrow here. And I know that if I click Sweet Scent there and go here, are they Marrow? They are Marrow. If I look up Marrow and go to HP, 2 HP EV, which is perfect, so I only need to do 1 of these hordes. So Surf right there. I mean, Helping Hand's not going to do much for you, buddy. And then we've basically completed our EVs for our Shiftry, or Nuzleaf for the second. Oh, it's 6, not 4, I'm stupid. I've said 4 this entire series, but it is 6. It's because it's 4 EVs to a stat, but there's 6 left over. So it is me being stupid, but the extra 2 don't really matter. So now that that's done, we can remove that. And we can just basically review what we've done so far. So we've caught our Seedot, we've then bred it, we've made sure it's adamant, it's got 2 times 31 IVs in attack and speed. We've then EV trained it in attack and speed, as well as given it an extra HP point. We've also taught it Sucker Punch and Explosion through level up, which, in case anyone has forgot, you will see at the end of Seedot's level ups. You can see Sucker Punch and Explosion, as we have right here. We can now go ahead, and if I have one, I do not, buy a Leaf Stone is what we're going to do, because we can't use it if we don't have one. So if we go Leaf Stone, nice and cheap. If you ever get confused, then it's just one of those things you just check in the decks as well. So you see Leaf Stone right there. I now have a Leaf Stone. Bosh. So when Nuzleaf evolves, they should get a prompt saying they want to learn Leaf Blade. I'm at least hoping they do, because that's what one of the moves we're going to need. Yeah, Nuzleaf into Shiftry. Leaf Blade? Yes. Okay, so that's perfect. So we want to keep Sucker Punch, we want to keep Explosion. We don't care about Bide and Amnesia, I'm going to get rid of Bide. So now we have Leaf Blade. And we just need one more move in Aerial Ace. I could go something like Synthesis, but I don't think Shiftry's going to get much of a chance to heal. And if so, I might just want to Explode. See, it's very variable. Like, I could change out Explosion, I could change out Aerial Ace that we're going to get. I can change out a lot of things. So, do I have an Aerial Ace TM? Aerial? How do you spell Aerial? Aerial. Aerial? I've got no clue how you spell Aerial Ace. I do know how to get the TM though. I can be brain dead and not have to spell it. So if we head over to Unova, I think there's one per region, but I know the one in Unova. And let's hope I fly to the right place. I believe it's this one. And then we zoom across to the left from Oplucid City. That's how you say that. Through my expert pronunciation. You head up here, and this is the big TM shop. So if we run right here, we now just need to look for the colour of the disc to be for a flying type. These are normal. These are fighting. There we go. Aerial, aerial. Ah, so it's A-E-R-I-A-L. I don't know how I was typing it, but it was wrong. So it moves without foul. It's not the best because it's only 60 base power, but it can't miss, and I just kind of want it for the physical coverage. I would have loved to give this Hurricane, but we kind of decided on Adamant. So if I wanted to run Hurricane, I would want to run like Naive or... Let me double check that. Nature, Naive. So if we go Naive... Yeah, so we'd go Naive or minus defense plus speed, I think. No, you could go like minus special defense plus special attack. You could go like that. You could go that or minus special defense plus special attack, because you get the +1 in attack anyway from Wind Rider, and if you've got Tailwind up, then you've got double speed anyway. So you could run like Mild and then have Hurricane, which would be interesting, because Shiftry's base special attack isn't that bad. Yeah, 90's fine. You could run mixed Shiftry. Oh, that would have been interesting. I mean, we've committed to this one now, so we'll keep going with this. But that is just something to keep your mind open for, that there's always a bunch of variations. So we go Aerial Ace, Goodbye, Amnesia, Bosch. So we now have Sucker Punch, Explosion, Leaf Blade, and Aerial Ace. I'm just going to move these around because I'm prone to clicking a move. So I'll sometimes click Fight and then accidentally click the move, and I would rather click Leaf Blade rather than Explosion and then just sack my mon outright. We also can see here that we do have the Wind Rider ability, which is perfect. We don't have to use an ability pill, but I will show you quickly just how that would work. You can do this at any daycare, but I'm going to go to Hoenn just because that's the one we have been using, as we are all familiar with that one. So if I go back to Hoenn, to New Morville, and then to make this easy to understand, what I'm going to do is bring up the Pokédex. Shiftry. So we can see on Shiftry we could have had Chlorophyll or Wind Rider. We knew we were going to get Wind Rider because our C-Dot had Early Bird. And if you follow the evolution line, you can see they each have Chlorophyll or Early Bird until Shiftry, where it's Chlorophyll or Wind Rider. So Early Bird equal Wind Rider in this evolution line in that sense. If we did have Chlorophyll, what we'd have to do is buy an ability pill, a pill that can be used to switch ability of a Pokemon. We'd buy that for 35k, use that on Shiftry, and it would change their ability. In our case, it would change it from Wind Rider to Chlorophyll. It would do the vice versa if it was the other nature. You will also notice that we are only level 49. So, the best way to get around that is to come to the battle frontier in Hoenn. You then jump in the lake and hope to God you don't find a shiny Tentacruel, because that is the worst shiny because of the amount of them. It's not a bad shiny in terms of looks. I think it looks alright, but there's so many of them because it's used for EXP farming that their value is plummeted, and it's like the bane of every shiny hunter's existence. I also don't think I'm going to one-shot them, because I don't think I can with my Blastoise. Nope. So use a Mon with like EQ if you're going to do this. You can see the level like 48s, they're pretty high up. They'll give you a lot of XP. Of course, if you've already EV trained your Mon, you can level it up however you want, because they're not going to get other EVs, you're not going to mess up your stat spread, because it's maxed out at 510. So as long as you've done that, you can do whatever you want to level up your Mon. There is also, if you do alphas, EXP dot candy. I can't remember if it has a little dot. Oh no, it's just EXP shit. You can just use candies that you get from doing alphas, and this will increase the, or decrease the time it takes to do this process, but obviously it will cost money. I also done that without an EXP charm on. So my brain is tiny, and I done that for no reason. So what I am going to do is quickly grab my Metagross, which I know has Earthquake, slap an EXP share back onto Shiftry, which is right here, and do that one more time. I might have to do it twice to get enough XP. I can't remember quite how much you get. I want to say it's 2,000 each horde, maybe 3,000. Like, split between you both. Obviously, my Metagross isn't going to get anything because it's level 100 already, but the XP is still split. That's definitely going to one-shot because they're weak to it anyway. Oh, 3,000, that's good. So it is only going to take one more horde, so I'm not going to bother skipping this. It's only one. And then all we need is a Life Orb for the item. But I do already have one in my bag. I checked that earlier. If you wanted to get a Life Orb, you can get them in a multitude of ways. One of the ways, I believe... Oh, I can never find it. Is it this one? Yes! I believe one of these people... That's special moves, so I don't want that one. I believe one of these people give you items in exchange for BP. So if you already play PvP, yeah, you can find it here, spend 6,400 BP on it, and get yourself a Life Orb. If not, you buy it on the GTL, 80k, or sometimes, I don't know if it is currently, you can sometimes get them in the PvP seasonal rewards. Yeah, there's one here. So if you got to 2,480 matchmaking points in UU, you'd get a Life Orb. And sometimes that's switched around, so it's not always the same. As you can see, like, all these rewards are different as well. So, as we are level 50, Adamant, 2x31, EV trained, moves all done. Get rid of the XP share and slap a Life Orb. I do have one, I just spell it wrong because I'm stupid. Drag that there. And I believe, unless I've forgotten anything, we're pretty much done. In that sense, we have created our 2x31 PvP Shiftry that we will be using in the next episode. So just to recap what we've done throughout the entirety of this mini-series, we have decided on what Mon we want, which is a competitive Shiftry with Windrider due to its recent update, giving it the ability Windrider. We have then gone and caught a Seedot. We have then bought some breeders to breed with it, ensured that it was 2x31 in attack and speed. We have made it Adamant. We have then made sure it had Sucker Punch and Explosion because those are the moves we wanted. We got those by level up on Seedot. We then evolved it, done the EV training in speed through Rapidash Hordes in Unova. We then done attack EVs through Machoke Hordes in Sinnoh. We then finished off with HP Hordes of Marill in Hoenn. We then evolved Nuzleaf to get Leaf Blade as a starting move on Shiftry and Aerial through a TM on Shiftry. We then came back to Hoenn, if we weren't there already from Marill, and done a Tentacle Horde just to finish off the levels. And we have a Life Orb, and we're done. that is how you make a competitive Pokemon. It is only 2x31. This is kind of the bare minimum. These defensive IVs aren't the best either. Like, ideally you want 25 plus. I try to get away with 20 plus, and then anything below that, it depends how picky I'm being. But if it means I have to do an extra breed, I will not do it. I'm just quite lazy in that sense. This obviously doesn't have any particles. It's not going to have anything special. It's just, you can use this. It's natured. It's got minimum IVs it needs. It's got the EVs, and it's got moves that we desire. You can easily switch these out for like Synthesis, Low Kick, Brick Break, Hurricane if you're running mixed. Basically personalize it to however you want. You can also change the Pokeball in these if you want to. But that is it for this episode. In the next episode, we'll be using our Shiftry in PvP and seeing how our O2 King can dominate the NU tier, or if it's going to be exactly how I think it's going to be, and a bit of a struggle to get used to. But I'm quite looking forward to Tailwind Explosion, and hopefully you guys are looking forward to that too. But I shall see you in the next episode. Leave a like and a comment below. Let me know what you think about this mini-series and Shiftry. I'll hopefully see you all very, very soon. Bye-bye!